So we might have a little bit of a crisis here. So Half Mile called me. She decided she was going to go back to mile 4.7 to the road and get a ride down here because she couldn't walk anymore. And then now she's saying that she's not sure she can continue at all. So Kay, who is with Fresh Ground, went down the road to go pick her up and is going to bring her to this spot, and then we'll discuss what to do.
You want some coffee?
Sure. I feel like camp along the route with you.
Okay.
And then if I'm there, if you need me, and I could even. She said that you get to mile 28.
Yeah, after 28, there's nowhere to get off. Is the only thing.
Yeah. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? Are you gonna try and make it to Burles?
By Sassafras Mountain or something.
I'll probably try to get down to Sims Field, which is 4.5 miles, something like that. But,
Okay.
I'll be running out of daylight.
Is there anybody else
there's
camping
also,
there?
Yeah, several people are there, and then
Okay.
Lick Log Branch
few
is
of them are.
2.1 miles down, so I might.
Okay. But you think
I
you can
can't
do it with your daylight?
To one or the other, yeah.
Okay.
I got grilled cheese and coffee. Is that okay?
Oh my God, yes.
So how far are y'all going tonight? Not too much farther?
I'm done. I can't go. I overestimated my abilities.
All right, well, Half Mile decided to make the call. She had a little chat with the trail, and the trail said, you know, I'll still be here next year. You want to just come see me next year? And Half Mile said, you know what, maybe I'll do that. So it's just not in the cards this year, and that's fine. So, you know, there are no failed outings. There are only experiences gained and lessons learned. So it may be about 5 o'clock now, or it's getting close to 5 anyway, and I am gunning for Sims Field campground. So I may be another mile or so away, but I wanted to get at least that far. I think it's mile 10.9, and I know that a lot of people are planning to be camping there, so I should see a lot of the group. I know that Ramdino's original plan was to camp there tonight, but you know, he may have gone on down to Burles Ford, which is at 15.9. In the morning, Fresh Ground will be set up at Burles Ford for breakfast, and he plans to be there till about noon, so plenty of time for people to catch him. And then he's moving on down farther for lunch or supper or whatever the next meal is, or snacks or whatever it is. And we'll take anything we can get. It's just a real pleasure to just hang out with him and whoever's there. So look forward to that. And then I think Half Mile is planning to meet us there tomorrow. For now, she's gone back to Oconee State Park, and she's going to camp there tonight. Ouch. I just kicked a root with my toe because I am not taking my own advice right at the moment, which is to feel every step. So kicking a root is only something that I do when I feel kind of in a hurry, and I don't like to hurry on the trail. I just like to go at the pace the trail allows, you know. But we're kind of racing the sun here so that we can still maybe have a little bit of daylight, set up camp. We'll see what happens. I think that's the Chattooga River down there. Quite beautiful. Going through some rhododendrons here. Descending. And if the campground, Sims Field, is close to here, that will be so delightful, listening to that river all night. That's my kind of sleeping out here. Sims Field campsite. All right, it is 6:41 p.m. and I'm probably gonna try and settle in here. I wasn't that hungry just because, I was tired. So I ate some of my jazzed up ramen noodles, a big old block of cheese, some Vienna sausages. Also, that grilled cheese sandwich from Fresh Ground, that gave me a boost. But hopefully that'll be enough to eat tonight. I think, I'm just anxious to get to sleep and get the sleeping over with because it's going to be so cold tonight. So I am wearing 3 pairs of socks and my boots. I have a base layer on. I'm wearing a whole bunch of layers on top. I've got gloves on. I also have mittens here that I can put on. I have a Hot Hands hand warmers, which I think I'm going to take one of these out and put it on my belly and maybe kind of down into my pants. And if I may wait though and see how it goes. If I wake up and I realize I'm a lot colder, maybe I'll do that. And then I have my rain gear that I can still put on over all of this if need be. So, and then, I'll be under a blanket. Got my sleeping pad and my pillow here. Charging up the camera as we speak, as I record. And when it's fully charged, I'll charge up my headlamp as well. Unless I just fall asleep. Beautiful campsite here right next to the Chattooga River. There's also a kind of a crescent moon out tonight, and a planet, Jupiter or Saturn, very bright in the sky. So both of those are over the river out there, and it's lovely. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this sleeping over with so we can get up and continue down the trail. I just realized my beard is icy, isn't it? All right, well, we're up at 2:17 a.m. and left camp about 3:08 a.m. It's now around 3:30, I guess. We're walking alongside the Chattooga River, which is very loud. I hear that on my left, and on my right I hear a lot of crackling and different noises of, I suppose, nocturnal animals over there. It could be that when they see a creature coming through the forest with a shining white head, it unsettles them and, makes them dart about a bit. It doesn't cause me too much concern. It might be causing them a little concern, having me come through here. And it's usually pitch black. Had quite a bit of frost on the tent and on the tarps too. I decided to put my tent into that sort of laundry bag type thing and hang it on the outside of my pack. Maybe it'll dry out in the sun later, because I believe it is supposed to be sunny today. Temperature may not be at its overnight low yet, so it may not be until close to 7 a.m. that the temperature is down to 27, its lowest. But of course it was cold enough in the tent, but we did fine, just with sleeping pad and the blanket and our clothes. All right, let's see if this is really where the trail is supposed to go. I'm not 100% certain that I didn't miss a turn, but let's see if we're supposed to scramble up here. Okay, yep, does look like a trail up here. So, I think Fresh Ground said he was going to start serving about 6 and be about 5 miles up from where we are. So we should have plenty of time to get there and get some breakfast, and maybe some people will say, "Oh dude, how'd you get here? I thought you were way behind." Well, it's a little after 7 o'clock. I've been hiking for 4 hours with hardly any kind of break, and we're starting to get first light now alongside the Chattooga River here. Quite lovely. I think I can probably turn my headlamp off, and yeah, I can see pretty well. You probably can't see at all, but anyway, I think, I don't know, I think I'm maybe about 1.5 miles, possibly 2 miles to Burles Ford Road, which is where Fresh Ground is going to be set up. So, looking forward to breakfast, just need to get there. I had an adventure at about 4 o'clock this morning. I was adjusting my headlamp, and the lamp part popped out of the strap, and I dropped it. It fell on the trail and then tumbled down the hillside. It was a steeper and longer hillside than this, and I watched it roll and roll and roll, and I'm like, oh no, it's still rolling, stop. And I thought possibly it was just gonna tumble right down into the river, but it came to rest. And so I stood there, the light was on so I could see where it was. I stood there looking at it for a while, contemplating my options, and finally decided I would try to get down there to get it. So I took my pack off and I got my solar charger, which has a flashlight on it. Spent several minutes trying to remember where the power switch was to turn on the flashlight. I couldn't really see to do that. I'm just going by touch. But finally got that on and made my way down the hillside, carefully holding on to trees and bracing my feet against trees, and managed to get down there to a point where I could then go sideways to where the lamp was, retrieved it, and then figured out how to get back up to the trail. So we still have a headlamp, that's good. And I thought about it for a good long while because, you know, I didn't want to get myself stranded on the hillside and unable to get back up. So I went down very carefully and made sure that I could come back up the way that I went. Because obviously I didn't like the idea of just being stuck on that hillside until the sun came up and somebody finally came down the trail and saw that there was a pack laying in the middle of it. That would have been a cold 3 or 4 hours. So don't worry, I didn't risk that happening. I made sure that I could get back up. Is my beard still frosty? It had frost and chips of ice in it earlier. I'm gonna have to replace my staff because there was a place where I needed to climb up onto a rock, and I thought this staff might give way as much pressure as I'm gonna need to put on it with this next step, and sure enough, it snapped. So I gotta find another one. I had my water bottles beside me while I slept to keep them from freezing. However, they are freezing now, and what I've been drinking out of my Powerade bottle, it's gotten slushy there toward the end. For a minute, that looked like a possible camping spot over to the right. And we should be coming up on Burles Ford campsite, and there should be like an entrance to it that goes straight ahead, whereas the trail goes to the right. But I guess one could camp in here, conceivably. And I did pass 3 tents that were set up on a beachy portion of the bank here. That was a good ways back. So I don't know if that's people from our group, but somebody didn't make it all the way to Burles Ford before deciding to set up camp. Looks like we have to go up there now. And then maybe to the right. Okay, it's 8:50, and I finally made it to the entrance to Burles Ford campground, which is down there, and then the trail turns around this way and comes up kind of above it. So we continue on down that way, 0.9 miles, and that's where we should encounter fresh ground. So I'm in kind of a hiker dead zone here at the moment, because I imagine all the people who camped at Burles Ford campground last night, they're up and gone by now. And there were 3 ladies that camped there at Sims Field campground with me, and they are probably on the move, but they're way behind me. So I saw 3 tents along the way between here and there, so I could have whoever was in those coming up behind me at some point. But anyway, I'm kind of expecting by the time I get to fresh ground, there won't be anybody there at that time, but he said he was going to stay there till about noon, so plenty of time to catch him, and hopefully the ones coming behind me will be able to get a breakfast from him as well. Been really tough this morning. The cold's been tough, the hiking has been strenuous, the pack's feeling very heavy and tight. The uphill portions are murder, even if it's, even if you're not climbing on rocks or roots and things. So, having a rough go of it. I'm a cup of coffee from Fresh Ground will do wonders for me right away to get me into the second phase of the day, which is hopefully better. But also, I'm looking forward to it warming up a little bit. Oh, thank goodness. I can hear his voice. I can't smell his coffee yet. But, there's Fresh Ground.
Taz.
All right.
I love Taz. Yeah. You
Okay,
gave
I
up
hope
your seat. I'm
Taz.
sorry.
No problem.
You have to sit right here.
All right, so we're here at Burles Ford parking area, right next to the Burles Ford campground on the Foothills Trail, and we're in South Carolina right now. This is Fresh Ground's vehicle, the Leapfrog Cafe, and he's been feeding the hikers breakfast. Bunch of very appreciative souls.
Maple syrup's right behind you.
You got blueberry. Oh,
There's maple syrup, real maple syrup right in that jug. See that jug?
okay.
Yeah. Butter's already melted in the pancake.
What's the dog's name?
Jake.
Hi, Jake.
I said Jack, I'm sorry.
The temperature
Trust me,
dipped
you'll
to
bite 'em
the
right here.
20s
I know. Yeah.
last
I'm just
night.
gonna sit here just a
I
second.
came off the trail, slept in my vehicle because just not able to continue due to sore hips. Old dude slept pretty comfortably in this cold weather. I bailed for the comfort of my
Is it Jack?
heated car,
Jack?
but I will continue along the route
Just picking on him.
with
Jack?
support
He
for
looks okay if I say Jack.
old dude as
Jake?
he continues.
Jake.
It's Foothills Trail, day 2. I'm sitting in the car here in the driver's seat, taking advantage of the heated seats. And half miles in the back, she's
Making
Putting-
some trail notes.
Yeah, putting some notes into her phone as to our plan. So we're at mile 16.8 where Fresh Ground was set up, and I had me some coffee. First thing I did is grab a Gatorade because I was really hurting from my my flask was frozen, so we got it in here to thaw it out, and I couldn't open it. I should be able to open it now. Let's check that. And yes, it opens right up. There's still some ice. The filter is still a little icy, but hopefully it'll start flowing and we can refill that, and then make sure I'm all set with my other. This will become my drinking bottle now. But yeah, my drinking bottle, the water in there, which was liquid IV, it was getting slushy. I was able to drink it all finally, but then I had trouble getting water out of the flask. It was coming through very slowly, and I couldn't refill it because I couldn't get the top off of it. So by the time I got here, I was really low. I couldn't drink anymore, and I was needing a drink so bad. So first thing I did is grab a Gatorade, and Fresh Ground's asking me, you want sausage, you want eggs, you want pancakes? And I'm like, let me just drink this Gatorade first, Then had a cup of coffee to just kind of chill for a little bit, and then I said, how about some of those pancakes, which were fantastic. But I ate about a third of it dry, and then he said, you want some maple syrup? I got maple syrup there on the table. Oh, yes I do.
He is more than accommodating.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed too, I've seen on other people's videos, that if there's a hiker in the group that has a favorite thing, if he finds out about it, like somebody really likes Barks root beer, or whatever it is, he'll try to get that, and then that way when you come rolling in, he can say, well, I got sodas over here, got Barks root beer for you, so and so.
I also had a discussion about special dietary needs. And again, if he knows that there's a hiker that has a special diet, he works with that.
Yeah.
And he said he's had a few challenges over the years.
Yeah. But basically, he wants you satisfied, he wants you refreshed, he wants, just whatever's going to make the hike better for you and give you some pep in your step, so.
He's an ambassador of the sport.
Indeed. So, we're at mile 16.8, and so half mile is going to go on down to mile 23.9, and I'm going to slack pack to there. And that will put me at around, I guess, about 13 miles for the days at that point. And then we'll see how I feel, and we'll see if I want to go another 5, because the next place where Fresh Ground is setting up is 5 miles down from there. And I think he's going to have breakfast there in the morning. But either way, I'm going to stay in Half Mile's hostel tonight, which is this car. It won't be as cold as it was last night, but I think it is going to get down to 32 or 34 or something like that. So it'll be nice to maybe, last night I was fine, but I don't necessarily want to repeat having to, bundle myself up so much and all of that. So that's the plan.